Good evening. This is the World News at 6 on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent, and here are the top stories. Nearly half of UK Conservatives vote to replace Kemi Badenoch before election. Katsina State Governor declares no negotiation with bandits. Bayelsa Governor Duye Diri resigns from PDP, and no Asiwaju cap no entry to Exco meeting. Governor Okpebholo warns new cabinet members. Details now. Thank you for staying tuned. The World News at 6 begins with about half members of the Conservative Party in the United Kingdom voting against their leader, Kemi Badenoch, leading them into the next election, according to a poll by YouGov. The poll that was reported by Sky News on October 6 saw 46% of the members supporting Badenoch as the Tory leader in the next election, while 50% say she should not lead the party. The poll now clearly leaves Robert Jenrick, who lost to Badenoch a year ago, to be the members' favourite. The report added that Tory members are split as to whether she will make it that far. A total of 49% think she will be out before the election, compared with 47% who think she'll still be in place. The Tory leader will hope that this week's conference in Manchester will steady her leadership. However, when asked who they would prefer as leader of the Conservative Party, 46% of Tory members picked Robert Jenrick, comfortably ahead of the 39% who said Badenoch. In all, 11% said neither and 4% said they do not know. Katsina State Governor Diko Rada has said his administration will not enter into any negotiations with bandits terrorizing parts of the state, but remains open to peaceful resolutions initiated by communities. Governor Rada stated this while inaugurating 100 additional members of the Community Watch Corps in Katsina on Wednesday. He recalled that when his administration launched the Sea Watch initiative about 2 years ago, it was in uncharted territory with a steep learning curve and high uncertainty. He explained that the Katsina model adopts a community-driven approach that allows members of affected areas to initiate and negotiate peace pacts with repentant bandits willing to surrender their weapons. The governor highlighted the success of the Community Peace Accord initiative, saying that Jibia had enjoyed 8 months without a major attack, while Batsari had recorded 7 months of uninterrupted peace. Back home, Bayelsa State Governor Senator Duye Diri has resigned from the People's Democratic Party, according to a post on Facebook by his Chief Press Secretary, Mr. Daniel Alabra. He said the governor resigned from the PDP with the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Abraham Ingombere, along with all the PDP members in the state legislature. Governor Diri's resignation from the PDP brings to an end months of speculation over his alleged move to the All Progressives Congress, but Alabra did not state the political party he will join. VOP News gathered that the governor made the announcement today during the weekly State Executive Council meeting inside the Government House in Yenagoa. It was also reported that that all the members of the State Executive Council have resigned alongside the governor, as the governor submitted his resignation letter to the party. When contacted on the development, Alabra said he could not talk. Meanwhile, former federal lawmaker Ben Murray Bruce, who represented the Bayelsa East Senatorial District in Bayelsa State, has announced his resignation from the People's Democratic Party (PDP). The former lawmaker made the announcement today in a statement he personally signed and posted on his Facebook page. He lauded President Bola Tinubu's administration, stating that for the first time in our nation's history, we have a president who truly understands finance, who sees the economy not as a political slogan but as living organism that must be disciplined, deregulated, and allowed to breathe. The Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo has issued a stern warning to members of his cabinet over his approved choice of dressing for the officials. Okpebholo's warning comes on the heels of the swearing-in ceremony for 19 new commissioners and boards of agencies and commissions who were inaugurated in Benin City on Tuesday. He warned that no members of his cabinet would be allowed entrance into the State Executive Council meeting without donning the President Bola Tinubu's cap, popularly known as the Asiwaju cap. In the political space, his support supporters, allies, and staunch members of the APC have taken to wearing this same cap with the popular insignia to showcase their alignment with the president. Speaking further at the inauguration of the commissioners, Okpebholo informed the new appointees that by wearing the popular Asiwaju cap, they make a bold statement of their support for the president, also stating their nomination could not have happened without Tinubu's total support. Governor Okpebholo further charged the new appointees to stay committed to delivering good governance through their respective offices. Let's take a listen to the governor talking to the newly sworn commissioners during their swearing in.
This could have not happened if we do not have a responsible president. We have done so many elections here. The major problem we had was the president is not with us. Am I lying? Am I lying? No. What do you say to Asiwaju? Let me tell you first, before we begin. You see this cap? Yes, sir. I will not forgive any commissioner that is not wearing it. In Exco, if you are not wearing suit, and you are wearing traditional dress and you are coming to the Exco without this Asiwaju cap, you are going back.
The Department of State Services (DSS) has announced the arrest of two dismissed officers, Barry Donald and Victor Godwin, accused of impersonating the service to defraud unsuspecting Nigerians. In a statement issued today, the DSS confirmed that both individuals, earlier declared wanted in separate public warnings, have been apprehended and will be prosecuted in accordance with the law. The development follows a series of alerts by the DSS warning Nigerians against dealing with the former officers dismissed for misconduct but still parading themselves as active operatives. Just days earlier, on October 13, the service had raised the alarm over activities of one of the former officers, accusing him of using the DSS name to defraud unsuspecting members of the public. Similarly, on October 8, a separate statement was issued concerning Barry Donald, another dismissed officer alleged to be impersonating the agency for fraudulent purposes. The DSS said it remains committed to protecting Nigerians from imposters and maintaining public trust in the service. It also reviewed plans to publish the names of other previously dismissed personnel to prevent citizens from falling victim to similar schemes. I'm now being joined by legal luminary Barrister Fred Nzako for the analysis segment on the World News at 6. Barrister, good evening and thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening to you. Thank you for joining me today. Always a pleasure whenever we get to have conversations on the world news at 6. I want to begin with Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo. During the swearing in of some commissioners yesterday, telling them that if they do not wear the Asiwaju cap to their Exco meetings, they will not be allowed to enter into the meeting. He says, if you're putting on a traditional dress, if you're wearing a suit, no problem. But if you put on a traditional attire, you must put on the Asiwaju cap. And then he told them that without the president's support, none of this would have happened. That is, it will be difficult for them to have been there as commissioners. Nigeria claims to operate a democracy, which we have been on since 1999. Is this how it works? Is this how it operates? I mean, there is the freedom of choice. I mean, I dare say freedom of what to wear, how to act, what you want to do, as long as you stay within the bounds of legality.
Well, you say Nigeria operates a democracy, but I would like you to qualify the type of democracy that some politicians like to operate. Like Okpebholo's own brand of democracy can best be described as sycophantic democracy. In so many ways, he has shown that he hardly does understand the meaning of federation. He hardly understands that there is a central government and there are federating states. He hardly understands that as an executive governor of his state, that everything around the state, the ball on played in his state ends on his table. He hardly understands that there is what we call inordinate order by an executive, a chief executive of a state. Such order was not only ridiculous, but exemplifies the fact that he had that penchant for throwing Edo State under the bus. And people of Edo State, the good people of Edo State, the brilliant people of Edo State, they hardly would go home and be confident that their governor is doing well. This is the same governor that could not read figures when he was presenting a budget. This was the same man when he was campaigning for election promised his state insecurity, and they tried to make politics out of it. And he never ceases to embarrass the people of Edo State. Now he wants his commissioners to ensure that they wear Asiwaju cap, as if Asiwaju cap is a sine qua non to their being in office. And for him to say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made it possible, he is indirectly saying that the federal government aided his election. And when the opposition are now claiming that the election was rigged, in a manner of speaking, he is only ascertaining and stamping and certifying that allegation that the election was rigged. After all, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu never came down to Edo State to cast his vote. And the people of Edo State who input were said to have cast vote for him are the ones who made him governor. So if he now throws all the people under the bus and says, if not for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that he wouldn't have been a governor, simply tells you that his election did not represent the will of the people. That is simple. But when you make such funny, sometimes it's not even reckless, so childish statement. You simply know that these are statements that we are not well thought out. It is good enough to say, if you would like to wear the cap of Mr. President, there's nothing wrong with it. If anybody wants to emulate him, there's nothing wrong with it. But for him to make it a state policy, he should remember that he is the governor of the state, holding the state in trust. Is not the policy he should make as a governor. The policy pronouncements he will make as a governor is different from what he will make as a father in his own house. There are two different environments. He's a father in his own house. Yes, he can make such policies where he will direct his children what to do and what not to do. But as a governor of a state, he does not have such authority to direct that the commissioners. Don't forget that, yes, he appointed the commissioners, but the commissioners are serving the people. And they are all people from Edo State, men and women from Edo State. So I think Okpebholo has once again exemplified his usual character, and many people are not disappointed. Now that we are there shocked.
You know, talking about Nigerians being disappointed, Barrister Ferdinand Zako, you know, I'm just thinking about what not many Nigerians are saying about the current administration and the fears of descent into a one-party state, especially with the recent wave of defections. The Bayelsa State Governor, Duye Diri, has just announced his defection to the ruling APC. Former representative as well, Senator Ben Bruce, has come out to say he's also going to the APC. Just yesterday, Edo State Governor Peter Mba declared for the APC. Nigerians are wondering who else will be declaring for the APC. Recall before the 2023 elections, somebody came out that is he's known by the moniker MC Oluomo. His name is Musiliu. I can't remember the surname now. Came out to say if you will not vote for the APC, don't come out on that day. He made a particular statement saying he Yashukudi or something like that. He later came out to debunk it. The current NURTW chairman, he's called Mustafa Sego, also said the same thing. So almost you can see certain people, it's always like, oh, if you don't want to be a part of the APC will not recognize you. If you don't want to be a part of the APC, then something will happen to you. If you don't want to be a part of the APC, then shift to one side. What exactly is it about the APC? Is it that there is too much there for the people who want to go there, or is it that all Nigerians have to align with this party? I'm struggling to find the best way to actually put this question to you, Barrister Ferdinand Zako, but I'm sure you understand.
Yes, I understand what you mean. The mere fact that they are running into APC underscores one basic fact, and that fact is that ask everybody who, especially those in authority, that are running into APC, ask them the real motive. It is self-preservation, preserving their selfish political interests. Governor Peter Mba, for example, Governor Sheriff of Delta State, Governor Imoano of Okpebholo, they are all running to APC because they want second tenure, and they are so afraid that standing outside the APC may not guarantee that. No thanks to the imbroglio and the unending skirmishes in the PDP, which again is as a result of the voice of Esau manipulating the hand of Jacob. Now, what they are now doing is they are being assured of not only being the leaders of the party in their state, but they are short of automatic ticket, and they are short of being receiving the powers of the federal government, especially the enforcement and security powers of the federal government to run their second tenure. It's as simple as that. Forget all this is they are saying that they want to take their people into the mainstream. What mainstream? Are they not receiving their state allocation? Every month they receive their allocation. Is anybody stopping them from generating their internally generated revenue? Is anybody stopping them in their discharge of their duties? They are only trying to protect their selfish political interest. Now, for someone like Diri, his own is surprising to many people, but not surprising to all, because he is already on his second tenure. But he possibly is trying to live up to Senator Adams Oshomole's admonition that anybody who came under the banner of the APC, once you hold that broom in your hand, your sins are forgiven. So what it simply means is that he run into APC will be a red flag for the people of Bayelsa, that they should go and scrutinize their state revenue accounts, that he possibly may have done things in that regard that is giving him jitters. He may be called to come and question, to come and answer to some of those things he did as a governor when he leaves office. Of course, you know that whenever he leaves office, his immunity expires, and he can be called upon to come and give account, just like many others are being called upon. And if he has misconducted himself in management of the state finances, he may be given some length of days or months or years in prison. So in order to live up to Oshomole's admonition, he's running to APC. Tell me, what is in APC that is in not other parties? Then on a general scale, it simply tells you that we lack principle, political ideology in Nigeria. Is the bottom line. We emulated America in our presidential system of government, where you have the Democrat and the Republicans. But here, nobody is permanently on any side, because the difference between the two parties are the same. In which case, it's just like 6 and half a dozen. There's no difference between one party and another. Where we lack political ideologies, where the politicians lack principles, where politics is not about the welfare and service to the people, where politics is essentially for the aggrandizement of the gladiators and the political wranglers on, then what do you expect? They are only looking for, just like the rat in a hole, only looking for an avenue to jump out of the hole, and that's all. Not interested in building anything for the state. And I tell you that is what has inspired them in this political jumpology that they are doing shamelessly.
Barrister Fred Nzako, you call it a political jumpology. Let's look at the PDP, who say that they are not bothered, they are not threatened by the wave of defections, but they are left with less than 10 governors. Apart from Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State and a handful of Governor Adeleke of Osun State and a handful of others. And we've been talking, or rather, the National Assembly was talking about a draft to bring the general elections forward to November 2026. Do the opposition look like they are ready? And also, when the PDP says they're not bothered by this wave of defections, would you say that is true, or indeed they are just trying to save face? They're trying to act like they are not bothered, but yes, they are, because they've actually postponed the National Executive Council meeting. Then we have Wike saying, look, those who criticize me are now a part of the APC, and Wike himself is still a member of the PDP.
Wike is the man who stays in PDP and smoking down the structures of PDP to the applause of APC. So in spirit, Wike is APC. In action, he's working against PDP. On the other hand, he's working in favor of APC, and it can only happen in a country like Nigeria. And those who are supposed to sanction him are the people who are helping him to decimate PDP. And if anybody says, like Governor Seyi Makinde says, that they are not bothered, he's only trying to put up a brave face. They should be bothered. They are all human beings. Unless they too themselves are all in the game to bring down PDP. If they are not in the game to bring down PDP, any loss, do you know what it means to lose a governor of a state to another political party without an election, without any struggle? Because each governor that is moving with the entire cabinet, entire structure of the party. And you say you are not bothered? I think he's only trying to put up a brave face. They are bothered. They are worried. And it's unfortunate that they seem to be hand clipped. They don't know what to do about all these problems. Yeah, I hear that many more are even still going. Even the man in Oshu State, they are trying to bend his arm to force him to enter.
He keeps saying that he will not be joining the APC anytime soon.
All of them say so. 2 weeks ago, Mba was even denying that he had no plan to join APC. So all of them don't bother until they hear the bell. Until you hear the bell, so they always say so. And but at the grapevine, you will hear that meetings are ongoing. Those meetings are not attended by human beings. They come out to leak the secret. Abu Kefas of I think Taraba State or so is also here. Is also on his way out. When we heard of Bitamba and that of Duediri, they do not deny. Today, where are they?
All right.
If one of them want to empty into APC, then the problem of the country continues. Because any country that claims to be democratic, that does not have a virile opposition, the country is only a laughing stock.
Barrister, in the Senate, the APC has already gained 2/3 majority in the Senate after a Bauchi Senator Samaila Kila actually defected to the APC. Now, this has solidified the dominance of the party in the National Assembly. It has a 2/3 majority. This is a crucial advantage for the party. This can help to strengthen its control over legislative affairs. Nigerians are already complaining about the kind of legislation, the kind of representation, reforms and policies that are coming from this administration. We've gotten to a situation where we see the APC taking over different areas. The local government elections in Lagos was largely won by the APC. The PDP won only 1 seat, and it was at the ward level. In the River State, when the sole administrator conducted the local council election, almost everywhere was won by the APC. So we see governors defecting. We see local council is the APC here in the National Assembly. The APC has taken over. Should Nigeria just say we want to have that just one party state and then focus on that, so we know that all our political elites and politicians are part of one party? That fear of a one party state, is it becoming more and more valid and vivid?
My primary school teacher taught me that there is a blessing in every disadvantage. In every situation there can be an advantage. In every situation there can be a blessing. If all of them empty into APC, it is a blessing in disguise if they will utilize it well. Now they have a majority. Now they have for themselves. Yes, if they want to utilize it well for Nigerians, yes. Let me give you a typical example. We've been talking about untangling the web of control over the local government system, and it has always been frustrated by the governors. Now they are in the majority. Why wouldn't they do that if they are really mean well for the country? We are talking about restructuring of Nigeria, and they say that opposition will not allow it. If they now intend to make Nigeria better, they now have the majority in the National Assembly, and then restructuring program will pass through. Everything that has to do with moving the country forward, that needed majority in power to say so, this is their golden opportunity to do that. But if gathering together will only be for their own selfish interest, then I can tell you that the country will be suffering in their hands, and that is where opposition politics will be very important. Then I can tell you that if the Mr. President that was said to be an avowed Democrat, this is a golden opportunity for him to do all those things that he had ever dreamt of that will move Nigeria forward. Except if the bug in Asorok has beaten him, as my good friend and Dr. Ruben Abati said, that the ghost in Asorok seems to haunt everybody who enters there. If he has overcome that Asorok ghost, I believe that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has now an opportunity to re-engineer Nigeria and bring it to the path of growth. That is if he intends to do so and has the will and the determination to do that. The party politics in Nigeria today best suits that intention. But if he does not want to do that, he only wants to become president, and 2027 is the only thing that matters to him, then Nigeria is in a very hot soup.
All right then. I want us to quickly talk about insecurity for about 2 minutes because of our time. The Katsina State governor has said he has no intention of negotiating with bandits. He says he said this while actually inaugurating 100 additional members of the Community Watch Corps in Katsina. That is today. He says he will not enter into any negotiations with bandits. But recently, we've seen 2 different times when local government areas and communities in Katsina State had peace meeting with bandits. One as recent as 2 days ago, go. They signed the peace pact. These bandits are attending the peace pact with their weapons. After signing the peace pact, they will go on a display around the community with their weapons to show that, oh, we have weapons, but we've signed the peace pact, so we will not attack you anymore. Is this to say that the governor is not aware of this peace pact that the communities are signing with the bandits? And also, is it not ironic that he's inaugurating members of a community watch corps, while on the other hand saying, no, we'll negotiate with bandits, while that seems to actually be going on under his nose?
Chairman, there are two ways to negotiate. Either you negotiate directly or you negotiate indirectly. The governor may not negotiate directly, but may negotiate indirectly through the locals. If he gives the local the support, the chiefdoms, local government chairmen, and those are the local authorities that are interact with the bandits, if he gives them that support to negotiate, and clandestinely he is already negotiating. And sometimes the governors will come in the open and say, I will not negotiate, and they go back secretly to negotiate. And that is where people like Sheikh Gumi becomes very handy, and some others who interact with these terrorists and bandits become handy. Otherwise, how can a bandit and a terrorist come for a negotiation in the open with all manner of sophisticated arms? And he will finish his negotiation with the locals and go back to wherever he resides as his headquarters. They say he's in the forest, but I tell you he's not in the forest. Maybe it's an extension of their homes in faraway civilized cities where they claim to be in the forest, but they go there and build houses because they have a lot of money that they move around. They make from kidnapping and from ransom taking, and in some cases even from the government. And you will recall that many governors we are seen on camera handing over large amount of money to the bandits with a hung sophisticated AK-47 weapons.
A situation where a local government chairman attended the wedding of bandit children right in the bush.
So what does that tell you? If that local government chairman did not have the authority of the governor, have you heard that the local government chairman have been sanctioned? Because a lot of these communities pay money for freedom to these bandits. They pay money. They have said it. It's not you are not the ones saying it. The ones who say they pay the money up north, they have said it, that without such payment, negotiated payment to the terrorists and bandits, that their life will be unsafe. And those who paid, we are seeing living freely. And those who refused to pay, we are disturbed, ransacked, kidnapped, killed. So they now resorted to negotiation and payment. And the government on one side will just close their face and then even from the back door, give them money to go and pay them. That is why I say there could be direct and there could be indirect negotiation. A lot of things are going on in the country that when you hear the true picture and the truth about them, you will shudder. And that is what has kept Nigeria down up to today.
Barrister Fred and Zako, thank you so much for joining me on the World News at 6 this evening. I always appreciate your insight, your input, and your opinions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your day, son. Thank you so much for responding to us whenever we call on you. You have been listening to the World News at 6 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that nearly half of UK Conservatives have voted to replace Kemi Badenoch before the elections. Katsina State Governor declares no intention to negotiate with bandits. Bayelsa State Governor Duye Diwe resigns from the PDP, and no Asiwaju cap, no entry to Exco meeting. Governor Okpebholo warns new cabinet members. And that is a wrap on the World News at 6. My name is Chioma Innocent. Good evening and thank you for listening.